What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Today we have another thing for the TC to be added. It's actually in this box right here. Like I said before, I had a strut bar installed into the front of the car, and now it's time to do something to the rear of the car, make that thing just a little bit stiffer. Let me open this up and we'll talk about it. Alright, boys and girls, so we have the C-pillar brace and the strut bar right here. These are from TB Performance. The instruction says to check the website for the sheet that came with this says to check the website for the instructions. I checked everywhere on the website. As far as I'm aware, I can't find the instructions anywhere. So I'm going to kind of look up a video. I do know somebody else on YouTube has done this before, so hopefully they'll have what the torque specs are. I'm going to assume, because this one didn't come with any type of bolt or anything like that, you're going to use the one that's currently in the back of the car. And then this is obviously for the strut bar, and this is included. They have included hardware for that. Now, I'm not sure if the hardware is going to work on my BC Racing coilovers, so we'll have to see once we get the car in there. Overall quality is really good. The welds are really good as well. Everything, this is one piece. It looks like this piece, what you're going to do is you're going to put this in there and spin this to push this out into the car, and then obviously with the bolts. But yeah, a little card. So that's where this is where it is. So yeah, so basically I took everything out of the back of the car. All right. Took everything out. We're good to go. So the C-pillar brace is going to go right here, and like I said, there is already a screw in there, so I'm going to assume that that's just going to come out. And then, so obviously there's nothing I can do about uncovering this. It's just going to have to be recovering this. It's just going to have to leave it like this. Maybe in the future, if I'm ballsy, I'll cut a hole in that. Big enough where I could slide the brace through. Maybe. So, yeah, so let me, start figuring this stuff out. Before I can even test anything, let me make sure that these bolts are kind of sticky from the tape. These nuts will go onto my coilovers. So, let me, test this out real quick, and if they do, we'll, go into the car and we'll install this thing. Alright, so I did test this out. These will in fact work on there. Now, I'm not sure, well, I mean, obviously I'm going to test. Oh wow, this is dirty. These are the dampening adjustment. They're currently maxed out in the rear because the car can't go any stiffer. So hopefully this will help alleviate some. Obviously on regular bounces this is going to do nothing. This is just going to be more for when the car flexes. Hopefully it'll stop rubbing so much on this side. And this side is now rubbing too. But yeah, so hopefully when we put this stuff on, maybe because of how far this one sits down, we'll be able to put this back on. So we'll test it out. And who knows, maybe it'll work. So basically this is just going to go right here. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot. So, the trick for this, I remember now. The trick for this is to put it in here sideways and kind of lift it up and roll it. And then once it's rolled on to one side, it should be able to kind of go in on the other side. However, I have a lot of camber in the rear, and I'm not sure if this is going to go on smoothly. So let me see if I can get this on here smoothly, because this side's on, that side isn't, and we'll go from there. Alright, talk to you guys in a little bit. Alright, so that took a little bit more than what I was expecting it to do. I actually had to get the jack out and put the car up on ramps. So what happened was, as I was putting this side down, it would go into the hole and sit. I would go to this side, try to do the same exact thing. However, because I have so much camber in the rear, this clearly wasn't meant to be on a cambered car, because I have so much camber in the rear, the strut tower instead of sitting straight up and down where this would go on top of it on both sides, it actually sat on an angle, and now I had to lift up the car so this way the strut would go a little bit more center so I can get that on there. So now it's on there. I'm not sure how it's going to feel. The car, I feel like it just needs to settle a little bit on both sides. We'll see. It's probably took out, I don't think it's going to take out camber, but it's going to prevent a lot of the camber from when it squats. So maybe we'll have to adjust some of the arms underneath and also the suspension just in case. But yeah, so that's in there. The car's really high, so I'm going to take off the rims and then I will do the other brace. Like I said, I couldn't find instructions, so I don't know the torque specs. I am, before the end of the day, going to see if I can find them somewhere, and then, yeah, make sure it's all torqued down properly. I just did it as tight as I could, and, yeah. Alright, let's go to the C-pillar brace. So do the C-pillar brace, let me show you guys. You guys have to remove that screw right there on both sides, and then, yeah, once we get to that point, I will show you guys what to do next. So I almost forgot. That is a, hold on, that is a, I believe that is a, hold on. The nut that comes with it is a 19 millimeter for the strut bar, and then as for the C-pillar brace, this thing right here, these screws are a 10 mil. So 10 mil for this, and it's, did I say 17? I'll confirm. I'll put this below. But yeah, so to get this in here, we're gonna take off these bolts, and we're gonna untwist. We're gonna put this up there, and we're gonna twist, and that should allow these to move, pushing them out into the holes for that. So let's get started. All right, everybody. So it's been a little bit. So it's very hot outside. I might sound frustrated. Just kind of go with it. This thing took a little bit longer than expected, but then again, that's working on cars or pretty much anything for that matter. So let me explain. So this right here, I'm gonna have to adjust this manually so you guys can see. These threads right here, just on this one side, I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see. There's like little notches in the thread. It happens, whatever. It just prevented me from being able to, sorry, there's a bug in my face, freely spin the middle bar to be able to equally spread out the sides. So what I end up having to do is rotate this one, I put this one in, 10 millimeter by the way, put this one in with an extension and a really long 10 millimeter socket, just because I wanted to get in there and not have to fight with anything, because trying to get it in here, between here, was ridiculously hard for some reason. So that ended up working just the way, like this. Anyway, so I tightened that side down a little bit, got it to a desired kind of how I want it to sit, and then began to rotate this, and every time I rotated this side would rotate, so I'd have to rotate, this side would rotate with the bar as I was spinning it. So I had to hold this side, turn it back, hold this side, rotate, and then, which rotates the entire bar, and keep going back and forth, and then eventually I got past all the nicks on the screw, or the bolts, and I was eventually able to just kind of hold this end, spin this, and eventually went in. Again, trying to get a 10 mil was in there was terribly hard for some reason, but I got it in there. I did look online for the strut brace for torque specs. The website says torque it down. I'm not sure if he says specifically this. It just says torque all the products down, blah blah blah. It doesn't really say what. Sorry, I sneezed. It doesn't really say. It really doesn't say what to torque this stuff down. And like I said, the instructions that I got today are really not instructions. They're really just notes. It said look on the website for instructions, and unfortunately, they don't have instructions So just kind of follow what I did. Like I said, if you don't have camber, you'll probably be fine. You probably don't have to change anything. You'll probably be able to just put the strut bar in there on the side and then rotate over the studs. With camber, depending on how much camber you have, even when I lift up the car, this car still does have a lot of camber. When it's on the floor, it has -7 degrees of camber on both sides. So the strut tower itself is definitely cocked a little bit. So we'll see what happens now that this is kind of preventing it. We'll see how much this actually does. I don't know. Someone else on YouTube said that this, it's not a noticeable difference like the front strut bar, but it is a difference. So I think what we're going to do now is I'm just going to drive up and down the street real quick, just do my normal hot lap, make sure nothing sounds loose or anything like that, make sure this isn't creaking, and yeah, because last thing we need is that to shoot up and that to break. And if that does break, we're going carbon fiber window and getting a new window. So don't break. Yeah. So let me put all this stuff back in here, or I'm just gonna move that stuff over there, and then we're gonna go for a nice little drive around real quick. I might give these one more time, just a little bit of a tight down. Oh, and I did try. These do not fit on top of that. There's just no way for this to work. This bottom piece right here has to separate, so this can spin. Without being able to get in there with the smallest of fingers, you're never going to be able to tighten this thing down. So, word of advice, figure out your suspension and what you want your dampening to be at before you put that on there. I'm not sure if you could put this on here instead of that. If you'd want to, I don't know. Like I said, you're not going to be able to get your fingers in there to tighten it down. And obviously you want this to be tightened down pretty well. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. So, yeah. Let's clean up a little bit. And like I said, maybe in the future, if I want to, I'll just drill a hole and put it there. We'll see. Right, let's go. First reaction, all right. I didn't notice anything. I mean, but that's to be expected, I guess. I mean, this thing, you add it to the back. The car doesn't have anything in the back other than just wheels and the suspension. It's not going to be as noticeable as the front. So whether or not it actually is doing a lot, I won't know until I just drive it. And maybe what I'll do one day is I'll just test it without it and see what happens. It does take up a lot of the trunk, obviously, because, well, there's a bar running across it. So what are you gonna do? It sounds like I'm complaining, but I kind of just want you guys to know I'm not complaining. I'm just, things here and there. It's also very, very hot outside. I am very, very tired because I did work today. It is Thursday, so yeah. So I'm just we'll test it out. Tomorrow I do have a long travel to work. See, you can't put it behind it. So I don't know, maybe I can make that smaller and put it behind it. Maybe I'll make my own kind of things to put it behind it, just to keep track of all the cleaning supplies and move stuff out of the way. But yeah, whether or not I'm going to notice a difference, I'm not going to know until I just drive it. And then maybe one day I'll just take it off and see if I notice that I'm missing something. But yeah, like I said, you're definitely not going to notice as much of a difference as the front. The front is completely different. It's your steering and how things move. There's a lot of stuff where you're going to notice the front and not so much in the rear. So yeah, we'll test it out. I think I need a new strap. I think I need a new sway bar and link, I think, on the driver's side. I did it in the passenger side, obviously, because we couldn't get the bolt or the nut tight enough on the thing. So I think we're going to have to do the same thing we did to the driver's side to the passenger side. Alex pointed out to me the other day that my exhaust moves a lot when I'm driving. It has the stock exhaust hanger, so maybe what I'll do is I'll replace the rubber on that. The bushings in the rear for the sway bar end link, that is also pretty much gone. So I think it's time to continue to work on my suspension. Maybe one day it'll be finished. Oh, and I did in fact look up how to do the sway bar on these cars. I think I know why they stopped making them. It's not easy to do on these cars. You have to. It's definitely not a on your back, put it up on jack stands kind of thing. Could you do it? Absolutely. Would you want to? No. That is a long day. I watched somebody else do it. It's not the easiest task to do the front. I didn't watch the video for the rear, but I'm going to assume if it's anything like the front, the rear is just as bad. So if you guys don't follow me on my personal Instagram, definitely drop me a follow. I ask questions all the time. A couple weeks ago, I was deciding between a hood for the TC or the fenders for the Skyline, and then everybody kind of voted for the hood. And now I'm trying to decide, do I do a hood? A lot of people like this look with just the side skirts. I like it too, but I think adding more carbon fiber to the outside is just going to tie it a little bit together. I do, however, want to wrap these black, so that might be a project soon. We'll wrap those black. Maybe I'll get carbon fiber ones. I don't know. But yeah, I think if I don't go carbon fiber hood, I'm probably going to do a carbon fiber steering wheel and then start working on the interior. The interior, obviously with the seats, we're all set. The floor mats are nice, and the shift knob, I do make sure I cover my shift knob everywhere I go. It is always covered if I'm not driving the car. When I just went for a drive right now, I left it on there because I didn't want any of the oils and grease to get onto the resin. It's not recommended to do so. But yeah, I don't know guys, what do you think? New steering wheel and continue to work on the interior. Maybe we wrap those in like a carbon fiber wrap, the trim pieces, and a new steering wheel. You guys let me know in the comments below. Sorry for knocking you guys into the door. But yeah guys, we're gonna call it quits there. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions about the parts we installed today, let me know below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later. Bye.